Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or whatever time it is that you happen to be watching this. We're talking about Thursday. Thursday was pretty decent, pretty standard. Still lots of stress from the nonprofit issues. But we got to take over our Good Things Come to Those Who Hustle poster to the greenhouse. Drop it off with Kim Vogel. She was a great get for them, joining the dream team with Sean Kennedy, who is always lording over the place with his wisdom. But that poster will go up so that all the folks that come for the Entrepreneurial Academy and who go to 1 Million Cups or present at 1 Million Cups will remember that, I guess, A, good things come to those who hustle, and B, they can put their hustle for free in the Catalyst. And it goes to our entire subscriber base as well as our on our homepage. And I'm particularly satisfied with how the hustle has grown. I really wanted to give a platform for solopreneurs and artists and small businesses, so that they'd have a place to get exposure to the masses, show off what they've got going on, and do success out of it. It really wasn't a good mass exposure platform of the few choices. The Times obviously isn't doing that, and the Business Journal isn't doing that. So I think that's one of the unique pieces of the Catalyst amongst many that I'm quite pleased with. So yeah, people that have small businesses, or they're solopreneurs or artists, or anything that's cool and they do it for a living, let them know about the hustle, because it's a good profile, and it's real easy to figure out. Real easy to fill out. You just go on the Catalyst site, go to contribute content, and there's a nice form to fill out. Ask you a bunch of questions, upload your social media links, upload some photos, and there's even a space to add your own questions if we didn't give you the questions that you needed to convey your message. So yay for that, yay for Kim, and all the folks at the greenhouse for continuing to drive our small business community forward. We had Anchor in. Anchor is a company listed on Pitch List. They do boat services, boat. It's a full service sort of boat rental. It's more than the Uber for boats, and you're not really supposed to say that nowadays anyway. Uber for anything, but they will bring a captain if you need a captain. They'll bring a boat if you need a boat. They'll bring both. They'll bring food. They'll bring destinations. And it's a ton of logistics. I mean, I really gave him some pretty rigorous questioning, because it seemed like planning 6 weddings at once, between the marina people, the sometimes quirky boat owners, the people spending a lot of money to take a boat out for the day, to all the logistics of the food and drink and the insurance and making sure everybody's happy there. So it's just a lot of work. But he's been dedicated to it. It started when one of his good friends was killed in a drunk boating accident, and after taking some time away from the water, he came back and saw that not much had changed. People taking coolers out in their boat, getting really, not in a position to operate a boat, and still operating a boat. And so that started. He started as a business as a sober captain service, and it just grew. And he actually exited his first iteration of this and sold it in the Ozarks, one of the lakes in the Ozarks is where the accident happened, and that's where I built the business. And then after a couple of years, he had a non-compete, and it expired, and he came back around with Anchor. So that was a good interview. I think people will enjoy it. It went about 25 minutes or so. We had Rachel West in. Rachel West is an investor in Anchor, and so she joined for that, but we did double duty and did an influencer profile with her as well. She's a very accomplished tech executive who moved into consulting, and then ultimately had a passion for helping small businesses, startups specifically. And so she invests. She's a great investor to have, because she's a tireless champion for the company, but she also is very buttoned up and does things the right way. And so she makes sure, she insists the numbers are right and everything's operations are tight, and is a professional in every sense of the word. And she's hooked up with Bridge Angels, with Deep Work Capital, Florida Funders, and so just a great person to have in your network. And it was nice to get to know her a little more. And she's probably one of the people who's, I guess, pointing to her due diligence or whatever, her understanding of the space. I don't think I've ever had anybody come up to me cold and know more about everything that we're doing, all the little nooks and crannies of pitch lists and the shows and seed funders and really get it and mirror it back as her. So it was just obviously when someone comes to you with that much understanding of what you've got going on, then you have an immediate bond with them, and I was really grateful for that. And then we're still, this nonprofit thing's been a punch in the gut. It's I don't want to get too much into it just because it's still, I guess they say it's ongoing case, but it's not a case. But basically, there was a meeting that I wasn't in that someone had with someone else who became unhappy, and that person who was unhappy is connected to the person who's funding our program, and that unhappiness spread to the funder, who then pulled all the funding. So we've got really great projects going on right now. We're doing some good work with the Deuces Live, a big grant, and really trying to tell their story and help revitalize that important neighborhood in the South Side. We're just starting down the path with the Tampa Bay Symphony, to do capacity building for them, to modernize them, to get them to a good space for operating. We have a couple coming up. Hopefully the Conference of World Affairs will be in there. I mentioned the one with Martha Bowden at SPCA. We have a couple inbounds that are in the queue ready to go that are really important nonprofits as well. I don't want to mention them until when and if we actually get started with them. But we try to only do 2 at a time, just because that's our sort of capacity. But people were it's really valuable work, and it's the thing that's sort of painful about it is that it was a meeting that had nothing to do with the program or with me, other than it was in our offices. I wasn't in the meeting. The person who was the cause of the unhappiness has nothing to do with the program. It's not part of our group. We're just sort of a random that they were even in the meeting. The meeting wasn't about the program, and it just by pure coincidence, the person who was upset happens to be connected to the person who's funding the program. So just so many things had to align there for that to happen. The random person making another random person mad, who randomly is connected to the guy who's funding the program, and all those stars to align and the program to be cut because of it. So I'm hoping that once we unpack everything, that justice will prevail. If it doesn't, that's the game, and we'll move on. But there are people's livelihoods that are baked into this program. There are some people that run it. It's the program pays the professionals that do the writing and build the websites and work on the technology, and that that kind of all goes away, which and that's why I'm going to fight for them, because that sucks. So anyway, that's enough about that. I'll keep you updated, but that pretty much wraps up Thursday. And appreciate you listening along, and we'll catch up again tomorrow or Monday or whenever. Bye.